Hey, this is Joe. In this video, we're going to talk about cleaning and maintaining your Dyson vacuum. I'm sure a lot of you know that when the Dyson starts to run intermittently, usually the problem is your filter has become plugged. And the best way to remedy that situation is to take the filter out of the vacuum and rinse it in warm water, put it out to dry overnight, and then you put it back in, and that usually fixes the problem. What I normally do is on Amazon I purchase a set of multiple filters, and that way I can keep on using the vacuum while one is drying. But there's also another situation that can occur. If you go ahead and you replace and put in a new filter or a newly cleaned filter, the vacuum still pulses. So then the question is what the heck do you do now? Well, that means that there's something plugged in the vacuum other than the top mounted filter. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to take the Dyson apart and do a proper cleaning on the Dyson, and also show you some things that may need to be serviced on the vacuum. So the first thing you want to do after you take everything apart and you empty the canister is you want to take your tube and you want to take it and make sure, look down through the tube and make sure nothing is plugged in that tube. If you want, you can run it under warm water in your sink and flush any of that out. Be careful not to get the electrical connectors wet on the end, so you may want to put a rag over that or put some tape over that, but make sure that tube is clean. And the next thing you want to do is take the bottom vacuuming attachment, and if you'll notice here you have your roller, and now's a good time to check the conditions of your brushes. There's a red brush here, and then there's a black brush. A lot of times when you're vacuuming, a string will start to wind around this roller, and over time may stop that roller from working. Also, if you look inside here, there is a track, and this track can get full of dust and hair and lint, especially if you have a pet, either a cat or a dog or whatever. This will fill up. Normally, most people will not clean this. So what you want to do is get yourself a flat-bladed screwdriver, and if you'll notice, there's a little slot right here. What you want to do is take and push down and turn that screw, and then what this will do is loosen this track. You can then pop this off. This will usually be really dirty, and this will usually have lots of dirt and hair and string all caught up in here. If you determine that you need to change your roller, you can order a new roller either on the Dyson website or on Amazon. If you have to change the roller, mine is still pretty good, so I'm not going to change that. But there's 3 T8 screws. The T stands for torque. And you can then remove these screws, pull off this plate, and then you can replace your roller. So mine happens to be fine, but you want to pull this cover off, and then what you want to do is take yourself a screwdriver. If there's dirt and crud in here, you want to take your screwdriver, clean that all out. You want to take and look down the tube that goes into this vacuuming attachment. Make sure there's no dirt and crud in there. What I usually do is after I get all the dirt out of this thing and hair and string is I take it over to a sink and I rinse it all out. Make sure that you can see down in here. Make sure it's all clean. And again, then what you can do is you can then put this bottom track back on, and then we can tighten that screw. The next thing you want to do is take the main vacuuming unit, and we're going to go one step further than how you normally empty it is. You push down on this red lever, and then what you want to do is jiggle this, and you want to pull the tank off, and again clean all the crud out of it, look down the center of the hole and make sure, again, there's no garbage and crud and hair and lint, etc. in there. And again, if you want, you can wash this out and let it dry before you use it. Otherwise, you will gum it up. One thing you want to do is, again, check the O-ring here. This is a serviceable item right there. If this is leaking air, you're not going to get good suction. A lot of times, your connectors will break a tab here and here. And again, you can order these parts on Amazon or the Dyson website. A lot of times what a lot of people will do if it does break, for a temporary fix, you can take some duct tape and you can tape that on, finish up your vacuuming that you need to do, and then you can go ahead and order your parts. Now, if you have access to a compressor, you can take and blow some air up around. Notice there's a screen here and there's a section up here that blows out your hair, your dust, and etc. down into your canister. So if you have a compressor, you can take and blow all of this out. If you don't have a compressor, what you may want to do is go up to where you can fill your tires at a gas station or whatever, and then you can take and use that to blow this out. Now, this particular unit, I have taken compressed air, blowed it out, I've rinsed it out, put it all back together, put a new filter in, and it's still intermittently pulsing, which means we still have a clog somewhere. So that's when I went and performed the cleaning on the sweeper attachment or the carpet attachment. And so now what we want to do is to do a full disassembly for cleaning purposes. After we've removed the canister, what you want to do is you want to look on the back side here. There's a small cross point screw. Some people may refer to this as a Phillips. Technically, it's a cross point screw. Phillips is a manufacturer name. There's one here. And then if you look on the bottom, beneath the red pickup here, there is a screw on the top portion of the battery. So what we want to do is get a very small, what I do is I pick up a set at Walmart. This is a set of T or torque screws, some cross points, small set of 1/4-inch sockets, $12. It's a really good set if you need a small set of tools at home. So what you want to do at this point is you want to remove this screw right here, and this will allow you to then remove the battery. If you ever have to replace your battery, this is how you do it. Remove the screw from that side, and now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and we're going to remove the screw from the back of the handle here. Usually it's not too terribly tight. If it is, you may want to use again a small screwdriver with a very thin tip to remove that screw. And I'm going to get my ratchet out here. It's a little snug, and sometimes again you just have to keep on screwing to get it loose enough to where you can then tap it to remove it. Now to mount the collector canister onto the vacuum, you notice again we're going to reference our little tab, black tab here, and then on the inside you notice there's a little indentation here. So what we want to do is we want to take this and we want to line up this hole right here with this black tab, and we want to put this on first, put the tab on first. Then we want to press down on our little ring, and what's going to happen is inside here there's a little clear tab right here, and when you push down on that, it removes that out of the way, and then it snaps into place. And then of course when you want to open the bottom of the collection canister, you push down on the red lever and it pops this lid open. So now we have, oh, we got to do this again. It popped out on one side, and we're going to make sure that pops. There we go. And make sure you're seated all the way around on that O-ring with the notch here, and there's a little tab on this side too. Now to mount the new updated filter, we want to make sure our wires are out of the way. This, if you haven't noticed, this red lever, that's your trigger to drive the motor. So what we want to do now is we want to start in, and again, mount the upper portion first. And as you can see in here, there's two little tabs, and they're going to mount in the two little indentations right here. And I'm going to probably have to put this between my knees to get enough leverage to push that in. So let me move the camera. What I did was I put that on, was able to press this in place, and it clicked in while I had the camera off. But again, you get the idea. Start by putting this upper part of the handle first, then put it up on its end, and then push down to snap this in place. And then this lower portion of the rear handle, then just snap it into place like that. Okay, now what we have to do, and notice the HEPA filter is on, and your max button, there's a micro switch on the back of the circuit board. So when you push that, it goes into the max mode. Let's go ahead now and mount the battery, and then we can do a test with the motor. Let's go ahead, take our filter that we washed, put that back inside. Now what we can do is take the battery and push it up inside. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to pop this canister back off. I got a little bit ahead of myself here. And we can now put one screw back in here and the other screw right here. And we'll tighten up that screw there. So now what we can do is let's go ahead and mount the canister again. Put that in there like that, and then push down on the red lever. Make sure it's seated all the way around. And now and let's go ahead and put the vacuuming head on and the long tube, and let's see if we're going to get any of the pulsing after we've washed this filter and put the HEPA filter upgrade on the vacuum. Before, I couldn't, even after washing this filter, I was still getting the pulsing. So let's go ahead and finish assembling the whole sweeper. We mounted the bottom plate. We tightened the screw. Let's go ahead now and attach it to the sweeper, and let's do a test. And the sweeper is not pulsing anymore. So the HEPA filter upgrade was the issue, and it fixed the pulsing. So hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.